Noah's Ark, a new beginning. The world was drowning in violence. Morality was a forgotten word. Noah, a righteous man, walked faithfully with God, a beacon in the darkness. God saw the corruption and grieved for his creation. He revealed his plan to Noah, a great flood to cleanse the earth. But God offered salvation. Build an ark, a vessel of hope. It must be made of gopher wood, sealed with pitch, strong and true. God gave specific dimensions, a blueprint for survival. Noah was commanded to gather 2 of every animal, male and female. Preserve life, a second chance for the creatures of the world. For decades, Noah labored, his hammer echoing through the valley. He warned others of the impending doom, the coming flood. But his message was met with disbelief, laughter, and mockery. Noah's family helped him, unwavering in their belief. They gathered wood, hauled pitch, and cared for the animals. Despite the ridicule, Noah remained obedient, his faith unshaken. He trusted in God's promise, a new beginning after the storm. The ark was nearly complete, a testament to Noah's unwavering faith. People came to look at the spectacle as the ark grew. They mocked and laughed at the wasted effort. The ark became a symbol, a refuge from the coming wrath. Animals arrived, drawn by instinct, a silent procession. Animals, 2 by 2, instinctively followed, a diverse procession. Birds of every feather and beasts of every kind, all seeking shelter. Elephants lumbered, birds fluttered, and lions roared softly. Noah ushered every animal into the ark's vast interior, a floating zoo. Patiently, day after day, Noah and his sons guided them into the ark's depths. The air grew heavy. A sense of foreboding settled over the land. The sky darkened, a storm brewing on the horizon. All the people of the town feasted, drank, and celebrated. Ignoring Noah's warnings, the ark stood ready, a beacon of hope in a world of despair. Noah looked at the sky, a mix of sorrow and resolve in his eyes. He knew what was coming, the destruction that awaited, but he also knew of God's promise, a new world to be born. The first drops of rain began to fall, a gentle patter at first. Then more drops of rain began to fall, a gentle warning. People laughed, dismissing it as a passing shower. Then, the heavens opened, unleashing a torrential downpour. The rain grew heavier, the sky darker, and the wind stronger. Noah gathered his wife, his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. Noah and his sons, their faces etched with anticipation, looked at the pending storm that was coming. They walked towards the massive ark, a beacon of hope in a doomed world. As they prepared to board, their hearts filled with faith and sorrow for the unfaithful who were being left behind. The few remaining animals sensed the urgency, their movements quick and nervous. The last pair entered, a small, scurrying mouse and its mate. The rain intensified, a torrential downpour from the heavens. The floodwaters began to rise, slowly but surely. The fountains of the deep burst forth, water erupting from below. Rivers overflowed, lakes swelled, and the land began to disappear. People started to panic, realizing the truth of Noah's words. They rushed to the ark, but it was too late. The door was closed. The time for repentance had passed. Noah and his family looked on, leaving the world behind. With a celestial glow, God himself shut the ark's massive door. As if a hand from above came down from the heavens, the ark creaked and groaned, ready to face the storm. The rain continued to fall. The floodwaters continued to rise. The world outside was being washed away, cleansed by the flood. The floodwaters kept surging, engulfing more homes, trees, and mountains. Inside the ark, life waited, a promise of a new beginning. Noah looked out at the raging storm, his faith unwavering. He knew that God was in control, even in the midst of chaos. The ark began to float, lifted by divine grace as it went over mountains. It was adrift in a sea of destruction, a lone vessel of hope. All the animals were huddled together, seeking comfort in each other with a sense of calmness. Noah and his family prayed, their voices rising above the storm. They trusted in God's promise of a new world after the flood. The ark sailed on, through the darkness and the rain. Day and night, the ark sailed. It was a symbol of faith, obedience, and the promise of a new beginning. The old world was gone, washed away by the flood. But inside the ark, hope remained, a seed of life waiting to sprout, being overseen by God. Noah closed his eyes and trusted in God's plan. The journey had continued. God's presence filled the air, a palpable sense of divine purpose. Inside, Noah and his family knelt in prayer every day, trusting in God's plan. The ark creaked and groaned, a vessel tossed around by every wave that was in front of it. The ark rocked, a solitary refuge amidst the raging storm. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain continued, an unending deluge. The world was submerged, a vast ocean where land once stood. All the animals aboard the ark remained gathered together, aware of the danger but remaining composed, as if they were all aware that they shouldn't fight one another out of animal instinct. Noah and his family tended to them, providing food and comfort. They trusted in God's promise, their faith unwavering. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, adrift on the flood. Finally, the rain stopped. The clouds began to dissipate. Noah released a raven, but it came back when it couldn't find a place to land. After more days of sending out a dove and waiting, the dove would return, not finding a place to land. Then finally one day he sent out a dove, but this time it returned with an olive branch, a sign of hope, a promise of life returning to the earth. Noah removed the covering of the ark, peering out at the world. The waters slowly receded, revealing the tops of mountains. The earth was drying, a new landscape emerging from the waters. God spoke to Noah, commanding him to leave the ark. Noah opened the door, releasing the animals into the world. They scattered, eager to reclaim their habitats. A new beginning. Noah, his family, and the animals stepped onto the cleansed earth. A sense of awe and gratitude filled their hearts. Noah built an altar to the Lord, offering a sacrifice of thanksgiving. God accepted the offering, promising never again to destroy all life by flood. The rainbow arched across the sky, a vibrant display of color. They began to rebuild, to cultivate the land, and to repopulate the earth. A new chapter began, a fresh start for humanity and all living creatures. The world was cleansed, a chance for righteousness to flourish. Noah's faith had saved them, a testament to the power of obedience. They would remember the flood, the ark, and God's unwavering love. The animals roamed free, their numbers slowly increasing. The earth began to heal, life returning to its former glory. Noah lived for many years after the flood, a patriarch of a new world. He taught his descendants about God's covenant and about the importance of faith. The story of the flood became a legend, a reminder of God's judgment, but also a testament to his mercy and his promise of a new beginning. The rainbow remained, a symbol of hope for generations to come. Noah's legacy lived on, a story of faith, obedience, and redemption. The world was forever changed, a new beginning forged from the flood. God's covenant stood firm, a promise of peace and renewal. The end.